New this week from Marvel Comics, Power Man Timeless, issue number 1, written by Collin, Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing, art by Bernard Chang. Before we get started, I wanted to apologize for taking last week off. I just really wasn't fiddling the whole talking about comic books while the world crumbles thing. Still don't feel really in the mood, but we're gonna get through this. But if you're feeling like you're in a similar place and you don't really have time for this full review, then the Cliff Notes version of this book is, oh my god, why does this go so hard? Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming. This week, the comic book release schedule has conspired to create a mini celebration of the criminally underrated and underrepresented street-level hero, Luke Cage, aka Power Man, with two incredibly different titles, with Ultimates number 9 by Denis Camp and Chris Allen, and, of course, Power Man Timeless. I think both demand comic book readers' attention right now. Luke Cage has been a prolific, relatable, and exemplary hero ever since his debut back in 1972 by Archie Goodwin and George Tuska, and the titles released this week only honor and further that legacy. Cage has been a reliable, consistent character at Marvel Comics, representing the best characteristics of a grounded, realistic hero. However, more often than not in modern comics, he does so as a supporting or cameo character, with the understated but no less essential power of invulnerability. Cage just isn't as flashy or as distinct as some of the big names in modern comics. However, it is his morality and immovable convictions that are his strong suits, which both Ultimates and Power Man Timeless explore in earnest fashion this week. Currently, after the events of Chip Zdarsky's game-changing event title, Devil's Reign, Luke Cage has been elected the New York City mayor, replacing the incumbent Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, which should be a plot point explored in numerous centralized Marvel titles. And yet we only seem to be cursorily exploring Luke Cage's character-defining new role in All New Venom, of all things. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, leave it to Al Ewing. I make mention of this fact to once again illustrate how remarkable it is that we have two Luke Cage-centric stories taking center stage this week. However, what is even more remarkable is that Power Man Timeless not only utilizes Luke Cage as its central character, but completely recontextualizes the character into one of the most powerful Marvel Comics characters ever conceived. Yeah, you heard me right. So if you missed the Timeless one-shot from 2023, as I'm sure many comic book fans did, then you have some catching up to do. Or you could, watch the review on this channel. It's episode number 14. Just saying. Power Man Timeless is on its surface every comic book lover's dream. What if blank had the powers of blank? Could he win in a fight against blank? Yet on a deeper level, this feels like a narrative opportunity that Marvel Comics has needed for some time. Asking the more poignant question, what does power mean? Having painstakingly acquired the powers of the Hulk, the Iron Fist, and the Sentry in an alternative future, it's literally right on the cover, I'm not spoiling. How is this Luke Cage supposed to live and grow as an individual with all that power and with his entire universe taken from him? These bold, harrowing questions are handedly addressed by two of the most prolific and equally powerful writers in the comic book industry to date, Collin, Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing. We're no strangers to an emotionally tinged cosmic landscape with previous titles such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Alien Black, White, and Blood, and Batman Beyond. If you're looking for a truly groundbreaking, frontier-paving comic in the superhero genre, or just a die-hard fan of Harlem's hero for hire, Luke Cage, you should absolutely support Power Man Timeless and help this series become the ongoing series that it deserves to be. But let's talk more specifically about Power Man Timeless issue number 1, which means spoilers ahead. Our issue picks back up from the literal universe-shattering punch from the Timeless one-shot of 2023, which inadvertently sent our Power Man protagonist hurtling through the multiverse to the 616 universe, where he now floats serenely through space above Earth. As he wrestles with his own internal monologue, the entity known as Void, which provides a portion of the power of the Sentry, Power Man determines to find his old friend turned nemesis in this new reality, Danny Rand. However, after crossing time and space to escape his apocalyptic reality, this Luke Cage is only rewarded with more pain and regret as he stumbles upon the funeral of Danny Rand, who was killed quite definitively and brutally last year in comics. I didn't read that issue, but I had to look it up, and fuck. And I realize that it's incredibly morbid of me to say this, but I love a superhero funeral. The extended structure of the page layout for this by Bernard Chang is just such an iconic moment in comics history and speaks to the emotional magnitude of legacy characters like Danny Rand. Moreover, contextually, it is a rare, sobering moment for our familiar cast of Marvel heroes who reflect on the impact of and memories with their fallen comrade. Notably here, we see a few members of the X-Men, Avengers both past and present, New York's finest heroes, which is a really touching display of history and camaraderie. As Power Man reflects on this scene and on this universe's Luke Cage, who is also in attendance, he realizes that he doesn't belong in this world, perhaps in any world. We then see Power Man careening through the vacuum of space in an absolutely vivid and impactful splash page from Bernard Chang, as he next recalls the tragic lives of all of the men whose power he has inherited, all of whom chose isolation as he is now. However, the Void's critical, hopeless characterization of Power Man is interrupted by two words that reveal the character of Luke Cage more than anything else could: help me. Which sends Power Man racing to the rescue of an unknown innocent, proving through instinctual action that he is a hero, after all. However, Power Man's altruistic aims are quickly squashed as he is cratered into a moon of Jupiter by a cosmic hunter entity known as Aeon the Knife. It seems to function as a mirror for Power Man's all-powerful, ascendant nature. The two battle in a dizzying, colorful display as Power Man lets loose the power of the Iron Fist, and Aeon mystifyingly reveals that he is also known as the genetic messiah. Then, in a classic samurai-esque head-on dash, the two characters face each other with a final attack that leaves Power Man cleanly cut in two by Aeon's blade, killing him. For now. Because he's got immortal Hulk powers. I mean, he's gonna be fine. I was absolutely floored by that plot development given the immense power scale of Power Man's character. It speaks volumes of Collin, Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing scripting that they can deliver such an unexpected twist and turn. However, the preceding splash page from Bernard Chang is a horrifying but quintessential comic book art piece, which features Power Man's fractured body as his soul descends and falls through the eldritch green door, which was of course introduced in Al Ewing's masterpiece The Immortal Hulk, which has seen continual reference and development in recent Marvel comics. Awakening, Power Man finds himself in the care of a human scion named Ever, who is the woman who called out to him for help in the first place, who reveals that they are sheltered in the confounding cosmic matrix of a celestial heart. Power Man questions if Ever is willingly aiding this cosmic being, this god, or if she's being forced to, which causes the intervention of the heart's voice into Power Man's mind. Power Man asks the heart what it really desires, and it reveals that it wants Power Man to defend it from the cosmic mistake that recently killed him. However, after reflecting on his own tumultuous circumstances, Power Man reveals that he doesn't really believe in killing for killing's sake, not even for a godly being like the heart, because after all, he's met bigger gods. Overall design of the Celestial Heart is certainly a highlight of this issue, as is the intriguing, bold text manner in which it communicates telepathically, making for a particularly alluring addition to the greater Marvel Comics cosmic canon. Say that 5 times fast. In fact, I'd argue that it's some of the best, most innovative art in the unexplored reaches of the Marvel Comics universe that us true believers have received since Silver Surfer Black by Tradd Moore. But I digress. The Power Man's refusal of aid, the heart declares, then this system is already dead. And as if on cue, the deadly knife of Aeon cuts through the primordial organ with ease. Aeon even remarks on the futility of his efforts, remarking that the heart's lack of defenses is disgusting. Power Man is able to fly Ever to safety even as she screams in horror and rebukes him for allowing such a universal travesty to occur. In the final pages of this monumental issue, Power Man turns to face his enemy once more, finally choosing to stand for something in this cruel universe, and summons the familiar power of the Hulk at last as Aeon pridefully boasts that he too will fall along with all of this system. This issue is thematically and emotionally reminiscent of the original timeless one-shot in its attempt at pushing boundaries for the character of Luke Cage and for the entire pantheon of power in the Marvel Comics universe, but adds much more in the way of character depth and contextual specificity for what this series has the potential to be. This issue explores the emotional and physical complexity of harnessing and using power in a much more committed way than typical superhero comics in the genre. What's more, it explores notions of cosmic destiny and fading hope in the universe, which are both complex, stirring themes that the comic book medium needs right now. all while being packaged in a visually glorious, badass, action-packed spectacle of a new series. Experience the awe-inspiring journey of a futuristic Luke Cage, the master of living weapons, in the pages of Power Man Timeless issue number 1, on shelves at your local comic book store now. I just want to show you the funeral page here. So it's the comic sideways, and it's just really beautiful. I love the sense of depth, just looking straight up at the sky. And I just really love this art style from Bernard Chang. I think it's time that we give him his due. I mean, his Batman Beyond comic from a few years ago was really good. Just to give you a sense of the scale of the battles that are taking place in this comic, I hope that we further up the ante. I don't know how, but I think we should. Absolutely love this art, love this character design. You know, it does feel sort of reminiscent of Batman Beyond now that I think about it. This series is so cool. It has so much potential. Look at this art, man. I don't know what else to tell you.